Welcome to The Explainer. So, if you're a focused learner looking to master the art of high-level strategic communication, you've landed in exactly the right spot. Today, we're really going to do a deep dive and explain in detail the highly concentrated concepts of the VITO engagement protocol. We're breaking down the core philosophy, stepping through everything from timing to prep, all leading to the ultimate goal of the entire protocol. You know, these concepts are dense, they're incredibly foundational, and honestly, they require a complete shift in how we think about reaching out to those key individuals, specifically very important top officers. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this methodology today. So get comfortable and let's decode exactly how the architecture of a successful engagement is really built. Okay, let's dive into this. The right start as the good start. It's a bold, philosophical anchor straight from the source text, and it completely sets the tone for everything we're about to cover. It's not just some catchy phrase, right? It's a fundamental rule of engagement. When we're dealing with high-stakes communication, that very first opening move literally dictates the rest of the game. Notice the text doesn't say a decent start or a fast start. It specifically emphasizes the right start. We really have to pause and appreciate what that implies. It implies absolute precision. Because if you rush into an engagement without the proper framing, well, you've already forfeited the good start. You just can't reverse engineer a good engagement if your initial launchpad is flawed. That first impression permanently locks in their perception of your competence and relevance. Which builds directly into a very simple equation. The right start literally equals the good start. I really want to highlight the profound simplicity of this. In a lot of complex processes, we kind of tend to think, oh, a rocky beginning can be smoothed out later on through sheer effort or, charisma. But no, this protocol establishes a rigid binary foundation. Your entire engagement journey relies entirely on getting this initial launchpad right. If the start isn't right, it just isn't good. Every single subsequent action has to pass through this filter. If an action doesn't contribute to that right start, it's actively detracting from the good start. It really forces you to slow down, eliminate all that noise, like rushing a generic pitch or sending a thoughtless intro email, and focus entirely on the quality and precision of that very first initiation. So that naturally brings us to a really critical question. When is the right time to communicate? If the right start is the only way to achieve a good start, then timing basically becomes your ultimate variable. Think about it. You could have the perfect message, but if it's delivered in the wrong window, the whole engagement just collapses. This really asks us to stop and reconsider our own instincts. Usually, our impulse is to communicate the second we have something to say, right? But the protocol completely challenges that impulse. It suggests there is a precise, optimal window for outreach. That optimal window might be aligning your message with the beginning of a company's fiscal quarter, or maybe right after a major industry shift, or following a key leadership announcement. Discovering that highly specific window is actually the first true test of strategic discipline. And getting to that meeting follows a really clean three-part progression. Step 1 is finding the right time, Step 2 is preparation, and finally, Step 3 is meeting the veto. You literally cannot leapfrog to the end. So often people fail because they try to jump straight to the meeting without understanding the executive's current landscape or tailoring their insights. But first, you absolutely must conquer the timing. Once that's locked in, then you advance to the rigorous preparation phase. And only after those two foundational pillars are totally secured do you earn the right to advance to the actual meeting. Engagement is a highly structured process, folks, not just a spontaneous event.
Let's zoom in on that very first step for a second. Now, what's really interesting here is that finding the right time isn't just some afterthought. It is the absolute vanguard of the strategy. Finding the right time is a distinct, learnable skill. It involves reading the landscape, understanding the specific rhythm of the person you're trying to reach, and basically calculating the exact moment your communication will hit the hardest. This means digging into company news, analyzing market trends, and recognizing those fiscal cycles so that your message arrives when the executive is actively looking for solutions, rather than, say, when they're frantically putting out fires. If you fail to calculate this correct timing, all those subsequent steps, they just become completely irrelevant.
And this brilliantly illustrates the actual mechanics of the protocol. We start with understanding the timing, but then we move right into the heavy lifting, discovering the necessary preparation, and then actually doing the work before the meeting. The protocol heavily emphasizes this behind-the-scenes effort. The vast majority of the work happens long before any actual conversation takes place. Discovering the necessary preparation means researching the executive's specific challenges, deeply understanding their competitors, and formulating a rock-solid hypothesis about exactly how you can help. You're basically building this incredibly robust foundation of knowledge and strategy prior to any direct contact whatsoever. Because there is a really stark contrast between the intense preparation required beforehand and the eventual meeting itself. Way too often people conflate the two, right? They treat the meeting as the place where the preparation just sort of happens on the fly. Well, this protocol firmly rejects that idea. The meeting is the performance. The preparation is the rehearsal. We have to learn the preparation we need to prepare before the meeting even happens. Preparing the preparation looks like scripting out potential objections, aligning your insights with the executive's known goals, and refining your message until it is absolutely razor sharp. The sheer redundancy in that concept really underscores just how deep this solitary preliminary phase is actually supposed to go.
But, all of this begs an essential question. All of this absolute obsession with getting the right start, all of this intense focus on finding the exact right time, all of this rigorous, uncompromising preparation, what is it all actually for? Well, we are building towards something highly specific here. All of these preliminary steps are driving toward one singular climactic goal. If you calculate the timing perfectly and you execute that deep preparation correctly, you unlock the ultimate objective of the entire protocol. So the crucial point is exactly this: adding value to Vito's day. The preparation, the timing, the overarching strategy, none of it is the actual end goal. They are merely the vehicles used to deliver this true outcome. The entire purpose of all that intense preparation you do beforehand is simply adding value to their day. It completely flips the script. You aren't preparing to extract something from them. You're preparing to inject something incredibly valuable into their ecosystem. Adding value might mean bringing them a brand new, actionable market insight they haven't seen yet, or maybe saving them hours of research on a really complex problem, or providing a completely unique perspective on a key competitor. If your preparation does not culminate in this specific addition of value, then honestly, the protocol hasn't been followed. Let's linger on that exact wording from the source text for just a moment. Adding value to Vito's day. This really drives home the reality that the entire measure of a successful meeting comes down to this specific exchange of impact. It's the ultimate metric by which your right start and your good start are judged. So how do you actually measure if you added value? A great mindset check is just asking yourself, did their day functionally improve because you were in it? Did your meticulously timed, heavily prepared communication give them a shortcut to a solution, or maybe clarify a blind spot? The text strips away all those other traditional metrics of success, like simply securing a follow-up call or getting through your pitch, and leaves us with this one undeniably powerful standard. Which leaves us with this final, vital question to close out our explainer today. Ask yourself right now, are you genuinely prepared to add value to Vito's day? Not just are you prepared to talk or are you prepared to present, but are you genuinely prepared with the deep research and timely insights required to add concrete value? Because if you aren't, the protocol tells us it's just not the right time, and you haven't done the necessary background work. I really want you to take these concepts, apply this structured timing and deep preparation to your own communication strategies, and just see how shifting your ultimate objective to simply adding value transforms your entire approach to the right start. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this methodology today. Keep learning, keep focusing on that value, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.